Oh, hello, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. I'll start off by saying that. And as you can tell from the title of the video, today we're going to be talking about venting versus judging. Now, these are two words/activities that I think the connection between the two is often misunderstood. I think that the two are often incorrectly intertwined. And so I want to talk about this because I think it's an important subject. I really do enjoy the content of this video. I'm going to try to make it short, but I'll probably ramble on a little bit longer than I'm expecting to, or that I would like to. The video might be more of an entree rather than a buck's bite, a snack size thing for you to chew on. But I'll start with venting, something that I think we often give a negative connotation to. We often think that venting is bad and should be avoided, and to me that is completely unfair and untrue even, for a couple primary reasons. The first of which is that venting is simply inevitable. We all do it. We're all going to do it. Maybe most likely we're venting out loud to a friend, or we might just vent privately within our own head, but we're still venting one way or another. And the second reason is that venting is actually, contrary to what you might think, good for us. There is a positive benefit that can be achieved from venting. And I'm going to kind of paraphrase from Dan Goleman's emotional intelligence book here, but he basically says that venting is good for us. And kind of separate, but in my opinion related, he quotes this one study about how, let's say, and there are so many other studies just like this, but let's say, for example, you've got something deep, dark, bad weighing in on your mind. Rather than hiding from the pain, if you take 15 minutes to simply write or journal about it, or just talk about it out loud, and to not leave out the most painful details, and this could be when you've hit rock bottom, it can be about your worst or most emotional memories, that's a very beneficial exercise, and we receive a lot of mental health well-being from that. And venting is kind of similar, but on a smaller scale. I like to think of venting as a form of stress relief, because the reason that we're venting is, or we only vent about something that's stressing us out. And maybe it's a friend or a sibling or a college roommate, or just like anybody that's doing this one thing that might be irritating you right now. You just want to vent and get it off your chest. And that right there is a form of stress relief, because that irritation is a form of stress by itself. So venting overall, it's inevitable, and it's not a bad thing when done well, when done healthily, when done carefully, i.e. without judging, which brings me to my next segment here. And judging, on the flip side, is bad. And I was listening to, I mean, we all know that judgment's bad, right? But I was listening to a podcast a couple days ago. In case you're curious, it was Brene Brown's Unlocking Us podcast. In one of her earlier episodes, the guest was David Kessner. And Kessner said that judgment demands punishment. And I heard that, I'm like, wow, I kind of want to remember that. And I think that it's true, although we need to be careful because, and this is, he didn't say this, but this is kind of my own personal spin and takeaway. I think that it doesn't mean, let's say, for example, you catch your friend judging somebody else. It doesn't mean that you need to punch them or verbally scorn them or punish them in one way or another. And the reason for this, and I'm kind of going on my own whim here, is that you don't have to do that, because they've already punished themselves. The act of judging is an act of inflicting self-punishment. When we judge, we harm ourselves. I think that's a cool way to look at it, and a powerful way of persuading you to not judge. And the reason that I'm connecting it to venting is because the reason that we often correlate the two together is because it's so easy to judge when we vent. And that's kind of the moral of this video. I think the title of the video, I should probably know this, I haven't put the video up, but I'm probably going to title it Vent Without Judging. And that's kind of the moral, the message here, because we all judge, including myself, and it's something that I want to cut down on. It's something that I think everybody should cut down on, and it's an easy way to do that is to cut down on it when we vent, because it's oftentimes that we judge when we do vent. I mentioned Brene Brown earlier, and she's awesome if you've never heard of her. I want to read her books. I haven't read any of her books. I actually don't know that much about her, so I probably shouldn't say that she's awesome, but I know that she is well-liked, well-respected, and she's kind of famous for making a groundbreaking distinguishment between guilt and shame. She says that guilt is I did something bad. Shame is I am bad. A huge difference, a powerful, a memorable quote, a memorable distinguishment. I feel like I just said that word. And I think we can use a similar metaphor here with venting and judging. You might judge somebody else by saying that you just hate them or that you don't like them, and that just shuts down all room for growth. When you vent, you're more so venting about one action that they're doing, except that doesn't mean that it can't be improved. I think when you vent on the action rather than judging the person, you gain a greater sense of clarity. You're probably able to increase your perspective because you're able to look at the bigger picture rather than just shutting everything out and saying, I hate the person, I don't want anything to do with it. And then let's say another reason that venting can be beneficial to us is, like I said, most of the time we vent to somebody else out loud, another friend who might know that friend, a mutual friend, you can say. And that connection, I mean, having somebody to talk to about that is a powerful and underrated form of social connection. And there's so many studies that show just having that connection and somebody to talk about, somebody to talk to things about that. You know what I'm saying. That didn't make sense, but you know what I'm saying, is beneficial to our mental health in various ways and is powerful. So venting can actually be a good tool for social connection. And I think this kind of makes sense. I'm going to wrap this up because I've gone on for a while here, but kind of the moral is to vent the action, don't judge the person. And then when you vent the action, I think you can maybe, like I said, you gain a greater perspective and clarity, so then maybe you understand more of the situation, and then you're able to approach the person and say, hey, no big deal, just this one thing's kind of pissing me off a little bit. I don't know if that's how you want to phrase it, but let's work through this, right? Let's make some progress here. Whereas judging, I think, just shuts the whole thing down. So I hope that this video makes sense. I'm going to wrap this up. I tried to keep this as concise as I could, and I still went on for longer than 7 minutes. So I'll let you get going here. I know, my videos are one take, it's just me talking to you, so I'm going to get a little jumbled here. But if you made it the whole video, I really appreciate you sticking with me. I think that there's value to be gained from this. And like I said, let's vent without judging going forward and try our best. When you catch yourself venting, just bring that awareness, utilize that awareness to help you limit your judging. And I think that's a powerful stepping point to going forward. So with that, I thank you once again for watching. I'll just go ahead and salute you. And I wish you a great day. Sorry, I didn't mean to block my face there. Namaste.